DeHaven, the one and only, Marcy's own. You already know. Shout out to Wreckords Radio, man, for having me. It's all love, bro.
Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
And you rap for those who don't know.
Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio. Let's go.
Breaking Records Radio.
Press 5-9. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't know. Fuck strange music, man.
So this is Canada. This is Canadian. This is Canada radio station.
Yes, sir. We in Toronto.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I have a lot of followers from out that way that's in my inbox. Be like, yo, when you coming out here?
That's
Marcy May gonna try to get to your TV through Netflix or something like that, man. That's what we working with now.
Word up, man. Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about. So let's give you a proper introduction and get into it. But, if you guys aren't aware right now, whoever's listening to the show, the voice that's on the other side of the line, we got a very special guest with us right now. This man is responsible. Let's just put it this way. If this man had never been born, hip-hop would be a completely different thing than everybody knows it right now. We got DeHaven on the phone with us right now, man.
Yo, man, I like the way you put that, man. I mean, that just let me know you do your research, bro. You got the right guy. That's what's up. Yeah, it definitely would be a different vibe right now. It's the weather for me, the foundation.
No,
but
that's a fact, man.
Hello? Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Nah, it's going out and in. I'm trying to figure out. I can barely hear now.
Oh, okay. Can you? Is this better? Hold up 1 sec.
Yeah.
Is that better?
All right, that'll be better.
Okay. All right, but yeah, man, we got DeHaven in the place to be right now, and if whoever's listening to the show right now, if you're not familiar with who DeHaven is, you probably just don't listen to a whole lot of Jay-Z, because if you follow his catalog, you definitely are familiar with DeHaven, but him and Hove go a lot deeper than that, and it's just, yeah, man, there's so much that we could get to, man, but first I just want to ask, like, how you been doing, man?
Yo, man, I ain't gonna front. I'm blessed, yo. I'm doing really, really good. I can't complain, man. I'm out here working, man. Trying to get my screening out, trying to get my series out. So, I ain't complaining about nothing. I'm not bitter about anything. Things are going well. I don't know if they know about the last time they saw me when I went viral. But, I'm a completely different person. A lot has changed.
Yeah, man. And, just to give the people, I don't want to beat the horse over, all the same stories and topics you talk about. I mean, obviously we will cover some of them, but I would like to try to shed light to some other areas, you know what I mean, that I feel like, the media seems to kind of overlook or might not get to when they talk to you. But just to give people like a brief synopsis, you kind of got Hove into the game, like, not the rap game, but the other game y'all were involved in back in the days. You were kind of like his older brother, his mentor, and, moving fast forward to that, like, people, when they listen to Reasonable Doubt, that album, a lot of it is like stories like, that's not just Hove's life, that's your and Hove's life that they're getting through the stories in that album, correct?
You're 100% correct. 100% correct. And I really think it's more about my life than it really is his. But, you know what I'm saying? That's my life. And that's what, when we get to Marcy May is about, I kind of like walk you through that so you can understand it. You know what I mean? He was there. You know what I'm saying? That was my little brother, like you said. But, yeah, that's my life, man. That's what set it off.
Word up, man. And so with that being said, the viral clip you're talking about, if people weren't familiar with YouTube back in its infant stages, you had a very, very famous video out that was, what was it called? Like Exposing Jay-Z, or so, it was something along those lines, right?
Yeah, it was the Jay-Z Exposed, like.
Yeah.
That went viral before they was calling it viral. You know know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was a big impact with that, man. That was just me coming out lashing at them for a lot that they done to me, what they tried to do to me, like, in the result of this game, of this street stuff, you know? So, yeah, that went super viral, but a lot of people still have that same picture in their head, that saw that, of who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's who I am, but, you know, that's not who I am now. You know what I'm saying? But it's a reason for all of that.
Yeah, man. And, you know, I think you kind of set off a wave, too. Like, you were the first person, not only just that I remember seeing online, to speak out against, you know, some of the establishments in hip-hop on that kind of scene, like, insider, you know, kind of view of, like, yo, I got done dirty in this way, or so on and so forth. But, like, even just with the Rockefeller family as well, too, like, I feel like what you did kind of enabled dudes like, you know, Choke No Joke to be able to come out and speak and do his thing. And, like, dudes like Gene Deal who have been coming out lately, you know, and really talking about his time with Bad Boy and stuff. I feel like you kind of opened those floodgates for, you know, some of the people who are more behind the scenes to come out and tell their side of the story.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way, too. But it's funny that, excuse me, if you was to go back into that and see all the backlash that I got from it, though, and look where we at now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that did open the doors, and the internet and all of this opened the doors for us to have some kind of voice. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of was unfair for them to say anything over record, over airwaves, that you don't have, you know, the capabilities to get your side out.
Yeah.
So now, you know what I mean? So that's the beauty of this, but a lot of this has changed now. You know, it's still the same, but a lot of this has changed now. It's just a bunch of chatter patty. You know, that's what they call it, chatter patty.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's kind of a turn off, but it is what it is. It's just about who's attracted to what story and what they want to listen to. My story here is very interesting. That's why we got Marcy made. Because you really need to see how long this story goes out. I was supposed to have a book written 5 years ago.
Oh, word.
I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't end this book because our situation was still open. And, you know, and it's till I found closure now to realize why, to understand why we ain't together and we will never be together type of situation. And you will find that out through what Marcy made is about. You know, so, you know, not to speed up to that, but that's why, you know, it's going to keep going. You know, this with the YouTube from here to there. It's how long it's been going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Reasonable Doubt is my life, man. I advocate that. And when you hear my story and see the screen, it's all laid out. It's actually to a point where it's like Reasonable Doubt on film.
Yeah. Almost like the making of, like the documentary version.
Exactly.
Word up, man. And I want to, that's kind of what I want to start off with the Marcy made, because from there we can get into the history. But just the fact of talking about Reasonable Doubt, had one thing I did want to ask about, right? Because, you know, Jay's, like, verse on Dead Presidents, you know, always been well revered amongst hip-hop heads like myself. You know, that's a classic verse. And, you know, you a lot of times when you listen to dudes' records, like, you don't assume things to be so spot on and true. You assume things to be almost fabricated, or, like, if not completely made up, extremely exaggerated to get the story across or make it sound better. And, like, you know, like,
right.
3 shots, close range, never touch me, divine intervention. Like, I always just took that as a reference from, what was it? Was that Pulp Fiction, where the divine intervention, right? And, but
right.
After learning about your story, I came to learn, like, you were your divine intervention.
And, yo, it's crazy that you just said that verse. And all of that is actually real, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know, man. It's been on record since Reasonable Doubt, all the way to 444. It's been about us. It's been about our relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's just people could grasp on because they live, you know, they see it and they live it.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because you know the way it's worded in the track, like you take divine intervention as like, you know, God coming down and like, you know, bending the bullets out of your direction, like it's just this freak event that you survive. But it's just crazy through learning through the history. It's like, no, like divine intervention was your man. You know what I mean? Like he took that for you. You know what I mean? Like that's like, you know, just when you uncover that, I was like, oh shit, wait. Like when I think I was in the Doggy Diamonds interview where I first caught you say that, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold the fuck up. Like what did dude just say? I had to pull it back, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, yo, shit. I'm like, DeHaven is divine intervention. Like, he is the hand of God that came down and saved Jay-Z. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like me on something, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's crazy.
Look at it from that perspective. Man. It's just funny that nobody else look at it that way.
Yeah, that's true, man. You know, I'm a words guy though too. You know what I mean? So when I see like, you know, I take lyrics in, you know, and it's just when you learn the history, that's why I love the history so much, right? It's just it puts things in perspective, and you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? It's like it's crazy though, man. You know, and like, you know, to get into the Marcy May thing, you know, I haven't had the chance to see it yet. I can't wait to see it. But I do know it's basically it covers, you know, the story of your life. And you know, kind of your you know, your involvement in the streets and stuff, which you kind of introduced Jay to the game, that kind of stuff. But with that being said, it's like first off, before we actually dig into the history, you just kind of how about you give us kind of Disemboguation, a bit of like the documentary and what it's about.
Marcy May is about my life, growing up in Brooklyn first, and then the challenges that and moving to Marcy and the challenges that I had to overcome in Marcy alone. And at such a young age, from that, when I'm learning in Marcy and what's around me, which led to me be almost a kingpin at 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? And then getting into the streets for the next 25 years. Sharing a relationship with Jay during the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marcy May, when I do these screenings, I give you a clear picture, understand this story. It's a story about my life. It's sad. It's a story about what me and Jay went through, which is kind of like the downside of what not just Jay, but what these guys tried to do to me.
Yeah.
Right? Which is the story. And when people see the documentary and the screening, when they see the screening, they sad because it's such a sad story of what I went through and what they tried to do to me and how they tried to handle me. So I get that feeling from my audience. But when I get on stage and tell them how I dealt with it and what my perspectives are now, their whole attitude changed to just like, yo, man, you're here for a reason, and they just feel good vibes about me, and they just want to see me win. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a challenge. It's a challenge against those guys on what they try to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what I went through, like when somebody said, you know, he called me a snitch, and we didn't get to that, but he called me a snitch on record. You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.
Which is ludicrous. You know what I'm saying?
Like you don't that's the type of shit you don't do to like your worst enemy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Even on record, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was devastating to me, plain and simple. You know what I mean? It's for my character and for what I've sacrificed in the game and all of that. But kind of had to put it in a different perspective on why would he say something so harsh after the YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I have to kind of like fall back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, look what I just said. Look how this YouTube went out. Ooh, this and that. He's angry and he comes back with that. So, you know, some things you're going to have to fight, you know. You fight fire with fire. You know. But I got past that, you know. And that's what the Marcy Meet is about, man. It's about me, you know, what I sacrificed and why I feel the way I feel on the YouTube and where I'm at now. People just like to see how you deal with stuff and they're non-violent.
Yeah.
You never seen none of them. You never seen no videos. You never seen no retort out of character to where it was violent. You know what I'm saying? And it's something to learn. It's something when you see this documentary, it's something to learn on how you can deal with shit and you don't really have to take it to the streets.
Yeah.
That's not what, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the result, man, I don't want to see none of them hurt. Even though after what you see what they done to me, you'll be like, nah, man. A lot of people know, like, nah. You know, if I was living by the code and the street code, man, like, a lot of them, none of them would be exist. You know what I'm saying? So it's about forgiveness. It's about how you handle things. So it's a great film. And no doubt about it, it's the winner.
Yeah.
And then we're going to turn it into a series, man. So you can see it frame by frame, like Power and Snowfall and the rest of these shit.
That'd be crazy.
Ew. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you know, that's what Marcy made it. That's what Marcy made it about. And it's called the Paper Route Tour. I go through all the cities and towns that I was getting, you know, hustling in.
Ah, so that's kind of the method right now of where you guys are hitting first.
Right.
Ah.
Yeah. Right. It's called the Paper Route Tour. The first show back in September, man, was like a packed house. Did so much love and support. Then we moved on to Trenton last 2 months ago.
Was the first
and
one? Was the first one? Sorry to cut you off. Was the first one in Dumbo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one was in Dumbo underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. It was nice.
Word.
Nice. And then the second one that just not too long ago, about 2 months ago, was in Trenton, and next month I have Maryland. So in each time, each little city I do, man, it changes because I was doing different things in different cities. It's a good film, man. It's a good tour. You know, it's a good tour. So, you know, if you're not, log on. Definitely, I meant to tell you, DeHaven.com is my webpage. So please, it's DeHaven. It's DeHaven.com. You can get, like, all the information and where I'm going to be and, you know, all the up stuff. And the stuff you ain't hearing, like, you know, the stuff I really touch on about the industry and this person and these guys, my Patreon is that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. Subscribe to that. All that is on my page, man. So that's a good look.
Word up.
Try to catch that Marcy made, man, and push for it, because I'm really trying to. If I can get 1 million subscribers, 1 million people to really want to see it, and that helps out a lot. That's our goal. You know what I mean? That's our goal, to expand this to 1 million people. These are 1 million people to be like, yo, let us see it, and we can put it out there.
Word up. And so for the time being, then, until you get the numbers behind you that you're looking for, is it just going to be strictly like a showcase thing where you go to different cities and showcase it, or will you have it available for people like online to be able to check out and stuff?
Well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to do it through streaming services, whatever best in our position to do it.
Yeah.
We get 1 million people. You feel me? Like, if we can just go ahead and let you download, a lot of million people download it, or Netflix. We just trying to get our numbers up by the tour.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that seemed to be really working well. And a couple interviews and still doing the interviews. I really know by the time I hit Atlanta, the last stop is Atlanta, I think we'll be ready. The numbers will be there. Because our shows are, the screens are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Which I'm enjoying, man. It's like, I'm really enjoying this Marcy. The Q&A, the Marcy made, the film is beautiful, man. But it's just me engaging people, not answering the question that a lot of people didn't understand between him. Because they just thought, a lot of people think it's just Jay. A lot of people don't understand that. It's a lot of people other than Jay around him that I dealt with.
Like Emery and...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't just Jay. It's all of them. It's the whole team. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you and Emery were co-defendants in the case, weren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know Exactly. And when people started, a lot of people that do know that, they start to understand the whole breakdown. Like, how could this be and why? I mean, but it goes to show, when there's no good outcome in this game, that street shit. I mean, the people would turn on you, they'll sell you out at the end just for their safety and their freedom.
Yeah.
No matter who they are. And then after that, the morals and principles start to go downhill from you. If you look at where they at now with situations, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I thought you stand for this, but this is what you're doing, and this don't coincide with what you said on this. These guys don't live by that shit.
Yeah. And you know what, man, too, like, something that you said, too, like, it's part of the streets and there is no good outcome to any of this shit. And that's one reason why I'm just so glad to see you doing what you're doing, man, because, like, you are, not only were you, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Either way, like, specifically speaking, not only were you, like, divine intervention, in that situation with Jay, but, like, it's almost like you've had a divine intervention as well, too, like being able to get the case thrown out, you know what I mean, and just being able to, continue and, like, quit the game successfully when, what'd you say, you made $40,000 and you were out, right? Was that the number, or?
Almost $500,000.
Yeah, my bad. But, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just good to be able to see you to get out of that life, and now you're doing something, you know what I mean? Because, you are a part of Jay's story, and whether he wants to publicly recognize it from this point forward or not, you know what I mean? It's there, it's solidified, it's in his music, the history is there. And I like to see, people like you guys, like, who were behind the scenes being able to get your just due, and, like, you guys are all a part of the ride, and I think it's only fair that, like, you guys all get to tell your story. Like, for anybody online that says differently, that's just like J-Hive, or, every famous celebrity and artist has their hive, you know what I mean? And they're going to go out and troll anything that's negative against stuff. Like, trust me, I post clips on a daily basis, and anytime something goes against an artist with a hive, whether I say something negative about Eminem or I say something negative about, like a Yellow Wolf or a Drake, right. I like half dislikes, and I got people in the comments like, just sticking up for these people, and it's like, so all these artists have a hive, and you're gonna deal with that when anytime you contradict what their belief of their images of this person in their head. But I think to a lot of us, people like myself who are just fans of the culture, hip-hop, and just the history and everything, and, like, we really appreciate you guys here, and, we're really happy that you guys have been able to see a way out of the street life and be able to do something productive, positive, and legal with your time here on the planet, you know what I mean?
And that's the big picture to it all, man. That's all. That's why I say I go through every city that I've been through, you know what I'm saying, to give back that, to show them this. And not only that, when we go into shooting the series, you know what I'm saying, I want to go back to those sounds and use them, the talent that they have here, you know what I'm saying, to be inside this series. You know what I mean? So something just to give back, because I do realize the impact what I've done to these cities and these other, all up and down the corridor of 95. I do understand now what the prosecutor meant when he said, "Yo, just give him life," because you don't understand the impact that I created out here.
Yeah.
And even though I got around it, I see it now. I see it not just now, but over the years, I get what they was trying to tell me. You know what I mean? But this is my way to get back. If I'm not rich or wealthy, that I have to do some kind of community service of giving back. You know what I mean? And I'm out here with them. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I'm out here in these streets with the youth. Like, I'm talking to them. I relate to them. And it's because I see the barrier, the difference, that gap between the OGs and this other generation. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to communicate with each other. Our older generation is kind of stuck in our ways with our old rap, with our old music. You get what I'm saying? Our real, we come from a different rap music in this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, us older people are different. We stuck in our own ways, and I be trying to talk to older people my age, OGs, are like, yo, this is how I get through to what I'm trying to do by talking to the young dudes on, yo, how do I do my Instagram? How do I do this? So we go back, and I'm giving him juice, so I'm relating with them out here. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have a bond.
Yeah.
Because this is new. I don't consider none of this new music to be whack. This is their music. You know what I'm saying? And it's selling. This is what they want to listen to. All I say is enjoy, man, and don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? Don't be reckless. Let these boys enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? We had ours. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Holding them back, but just don't hurt nobody. Just tell them don't get your money. Just don't hurt nobody.
Yeah.
They never advocate no violence, man. That's not a good picture of that in these days and these times. And that shit ain't cool.
Yeah, man.
A lot of kids are watching.
And that's the sad part with the youth today, too, is like a lot of these dudes will risk their freedom over a reputation. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, you know, I kind of understand about what your reputation is about because somebody tried to tarnish mine.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, I mean, it's just that you have to look from a different perspective on trying to handle some things.
Yeah.
Everything, you know what I mean? We come from that same era where, you know, we all know if somebody call you a snitch, we all know you have to show paperwork. We know that.
Yeah.
So when they don't question that now in these days, there is no rules no more. You get what I'm saying? There's no more rules in it no more.
No.
They don't question that type of stuff. It's okay now. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like understand why I don't fit in that group over there. I understand it clearly why I'm not over here with them. If I'm not going to engage and do the same thing, I don't stand for a lot of stuff that they do over there.
Yeah.
It ain't in me. You know what I'm saying? I see it, you know, it's blatantly out there now. You know what I'm saying? So nobody can tell me nothing about 6 old snitching, 6'9", and this and that and the third. Well, what do you expect when there's no rules in it?
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Really, what do you expect when there's no rules in this game? How do you be surprised about him telling?
It's a fact, man.
And then he's telling on people that's not loyal to him, and then this and that and the third. You know, this generation don't really understand the meaning of a snitch and how many different ways and characterize it can be.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing with it too is that like you bring up Tekashi, and that's the situation with it. Is that, you know, I get in arguments with a lot of people about is like, you know, people argue he's right because you start putting everything in semantics. It's like, well, you know, they did this to him and this and this. But it's like, what people got to realize is if you're going to get involved with that life, you got to be willing to take the repercussions of it. And though one of the repercussions might be dealing with snitches, what people got to realize is like, these are the same rules the mafia use and stuff. And the reason why you don't talk is because if you don't talk, it's very difficult to have a case built against you. And so if nobody talks, then nobody has no evidence on nothing, and you deal with things yourselves.
Right, but this generation, now it don't work that way because at the end of the day, they're gonna talk.
Yeah.
These ain't the same guys that's built like that. You get what I'm saying? They don't understand it to the fullest. See, the mob, the mafia, they want you to take the 30 years so you won't talk.
Yeah.
you the man. This is what they want Tekashi had done. Oh man, he got the whole life sentence. He ate that. He stood up for all of the guys that disrespected him.
Yeah.
Like how the hell does that sound? I don't agree with none of that. I don't agree with no snitching, but how does that sound? Does that sound moral? Like, you crazy? He got life. He stood up and hold that bag for the niggas that was shitting on him.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? Because back in the days, I feel like you know, even with like what you had going on in the streets and stuff, like there was structure and there was organization. But nowadays, it's just a bunch of wild boys trying to fuck bitches, you know, have a reputation, show their money and their guns on IG stories and shit. But it's not, there's no actual real organization to a lot of this street crime. So it's like when it comes down to, you know, crumbling, it's easy for these guys to crumble because they don't have anything to look for when they get out. You know what I mean? It's like there ain't no organized clique of people that are still going to be putting in work, holding them down. Like, these dudes will be, you know what I mean? It's like...
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
You got some guys that keep the charge, and then these guys ain't even sending them no commissary. They ain't even taking care of these guys' kids on the street. The moral of this is, man, there is no game no more. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. It's too much free money out here. It's too much other things, the ways to get money now legally.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? The only drugs that should be out here is the ones that pretty much they use it. I don't understand. I ain't knocking them, but the game is just over. It's like, why? If that's the only thing you feel like you can move or hustle that you talented with doing, you know what I'm saying? It's understand what's going to come with that, and it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just don't want to change, and it's new money out here. People just don't want to put in the time to work to do it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But other than this, man, I love doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Speaking engagements, talking to the youth. Come check out Marcy Made. It'll open your eyes to something, man, to see how you can deal with something on a major scale. Cause, I went through a lot with that, Jesus. Went through a lot, man. And if you do the history on that, the shit been going for like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just now, it's a light being shed on them. All of them are really going to tell me. Like I said, karma come back on them. You're not going to get away with it.
Yeah. And that's actually
sooner or later.
That's one thing, too. I was curious, like, since you started doing the, the Marcy Made documentary and been taking it city to city, has anybody from, like, Jay's camp reached out to you at all?
Nah? That's ironic, you know what I mean? There's a lot of them that follow me, but reach out to me in what way? Like, nah.
Yeah, because I know, like, before, like him saying what he said about you was kind of like clap back at you doing the video series and stuff before, and then, like, I know you had been doing some media and stuff, but I was just, curious that now that you actually got the documentary out, if, like, now that it's a formulated thing and it's actually there, if anybody had maybe reached out, like, and just, tried to mend that bridge.
I have seen people that, I've seen family members, I've seen cousins and stuff that I've seen them at the venue at a screening, you know what I'm saying? And I want that to happen because I don't want people to think this screening is about them. Me talking bad and doing that, talking, reckless that. It's not. It's about my life. Period.
Yeah.
And when they get there and see it, I wanted them to see that this is good enough for even them to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to leave and be like, damn, I think Jay or Emery or Dame, they should check that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't all what they think it is. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just telling my story. And what you get from it is to be like, wow, you know what I mean? It's just good to see dude here. I'm honored to be here. I'm a blessing. I survived some of the most things in my life. And even when how you say, I got shot for him. He was there. It's all record. It's all documented. It's all, I can take you through record after record. If you know the history, it's record after record after record that he's been just talking strictly about me, to me. And some of the lyrics.
Well, and actually, too, with you saying that, there were a couple tracks I had in question that, I never knew until I had started seeing interviews with you. Like, the Doggy Diamonds one is the one that really opened me up to you, and I've been following you and anything you've been doing ever since. But, like, everybody seems to talk about Dead Presidents and No Hug, but there was a couple other songs in question that, after learning your guys' story, your history, that I was wondering about. And the first was being a week ago that he did with Too Short. Was he talking about you in that first verse?
I couldn't. I get that question all the time. And when I do the research on what was going on when he put that out, like, everything was good.
So you guys were still everything was kosher around the time of Volume 2 and shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Exactly. So I didn't even understand that. You know, it just took until certain situations happened with me, I guess, with the my case. Or when that came out or whatever came out, I don't know. They just attached that to me. It wasn't the right time, but they just attached that to me.
I feel you. So actually, that leads me to want to ask too, because you guys, you know, a lot of people talk to you about the case, the famous case of Emory and all this stuff, but the timeline to me, which I'm sure it covers in the documentary, but just as a fan, you know, and trying to help understand, you know, the history and stuff, like the timeline to me is like a bit skewed. Like I don't understand when things happen, so it's hard for me to, like, you know, like if I knew the timeline, I might not even ask you that question. But so like what year was it that you were in that case? Like what year did they first like nab you up on that?
That was 98.
Oh shit, okay.
That was 98.
Word. So like when he was talking like on Streets is Watching, where he's like until secret indictment time came around, you look up and down the streets, I can't be found, putting 24-hour shifts, but that ain't me now. Like talking about, you know, having to leave the street. Like what he's probably talking about that same conviction that you guys ended up getting, right?
Exactly. If that coincides with the time of 98. I think Streets is Watching was 96. It was 96 or 97, if I'm not.
Yeah. I think probably recorded 97. I think, yeah. I can't remember if Hard Knock Life was 99 or 98, but Streets is, or my apologies, Volume 1, yeah, that would have been 97 probably, maybe early 98.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that came like right after. But you see how it would all fall into place though, and how it came out. But I know I was like, yeah, it was 98 to court the case. So Streets is Watching was like 97 about it. Wow, that would be correct.
Word. And another one too I was curious about, which I almost just have to assume it is, but like once again, I don't, without the context, I'm not 100% sure. But like when him and Nas finally did the joint together, Black Republicans, that whole first verse where he's like, even though you was nothing other than a son of my mother's friend, we at Covenant, whoever thought the love would end, like that whole verse must be about you, I assume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you see where the disrespect is. If you say that, you know what I mean? You see where I would be like, how dare you? This is my mom that I would wake up 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and be like, yo, come on, Jay. Come on, Ma, I gotta go get Jay out of jail, or come on, Jay is sick, whatever. And now you say it's just the son of my mother's friend.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? Like, his mother and my mother were really tight friends. So it made it seem like in these lyrics, it really was nothing. It's just, you know, a peasant. It was just a normal people. And we took care of you. And, you know, and this is what people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Outside looking in, when people address it and state comments and judge, they don't really know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know what I sacrificed. They don't know what my family sacrificed. So before you judge something, I would like to have people just look. And don't get it wrong. Don't say, you know, I ain't asking you not to be a fan. And they ask you that. I'm saying the music is my life. That music, his music is my life. And he's still one of my greatest. I'm still popping him more.
Yeah.
You understand? But at the end of the day, man, I mean, what's right is right. But you see how rude they get with it, how disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if their mind, they say like, yo, I ain't gonna never see him again or whatever. I just think that's really rude.
Yeah, for real too. Cause like even like, you know, years before I ever.
And you only brought up that. It's a few more words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't know about the Best of Both Worlds with him and R. Kelly. It's a few on there.
Oh shit! Say word.
Yeah, there's a few on there.
Well, that's probably because it's his worst album. So a lot of us probably don't even catch that.
Yeah, but I mean, when you catch it, it probably be like, oh shit. Like if I'd have known this, I would probably listen to it more because you understand the meaning of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot, man, on those records, man. There's a lot of people didn't know that Gil, DeHaven, and Headache are all my aliases, so they might have missed it somewhere. You know, but, you know, I guess, like I said, it was just, I think that's real rude. I think that's really crossing the line. But like I said, it's about how I handle it. You know, sometimes you gotta be like, that ain't the, you know, I'm gonna forgive him because that ain't the person that I was either, you know, that was around.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying? You attached to something different.
And another thing about it too is like, you know, well, because I always found it odd listening to that verse. I'm like, we were like brothers, even though you was nothing but a son of my mother's friend. It was kind of like, well, like, I always kind of wonder, like, why would you even put it like that? Because you already said we were like brothers, you know what I mean? So it was like, you didn't even have to go the further line. You know what I mean? Like, I always just thought it was like, to me personally, I always thought it was just a line that had some good multi-syllables in it and just flowed the rest of the sentence in a good rhyme structure. And it wasn't until years later, you know, obviously, discovering your history with Hove and stuff where I'm like, oh, shit, like, this sounds like it's directly about DeHaven. And then I can really catch more like, damn, that's kind of disrespectful. But I think it shows at the same time, too, how hurt he was. No matter how far your guys' issue, you know, extended prior to that, clearly he was hurt by, you know, the videos you had put up and stuff. Like, as much as he was upset and maybe pissed off and different things, like maybe when he did No Hook, but like that verse sounds like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like he sounds kind of hurt.
What he sounded? What you say? Say it again.
I just said, like, the way he delivers the verse, he kind of sounds almost hurt. You know what I mean?
Like it's personal.
Yeah, like.
It's personal. Like what we have. This is why I be like, yo, people should stay in their own lane because this is personal. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you know, I'm good. I'm over it. I can deal without it. But at some point, with that in the direction and the go where I'm going, sooner or later we see each other. Sooner or later see each other. It's just personal. And I try to tell people, stay in your lane, bro. Because you couldn't understand the way I feel. You know what I mean? What's more sad about it is the sidelining. You got these sideliners that's in the game too, that's around them, that has no. I don't know what these guys, gatekeepers. That's what they call them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That don't have no bearing. Nobody can be like, yo, listen, man, you need to straighten this shit out. This is not a good look for us. This is not a good look for the team. You know what I'm saying? Not coming from him. Y'all need to just, whatever happens, just straighten it out. You two. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody around him can question that. And that's what type of people they like to be around.
Well, do you think Sorry, continue.
That's why when these artists go through something that's be so reckless, you start to think about, damn, well, who around you? You know what I'm saying? Who let you do this?
Yeah.
So because you paying everybody, you think that they're just going to be yes. That's why I say that game ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to depend on nobody. I'm going to create my own lane.
Yeah.
A lot of them dudes don't have their own lane. So they're going to be there just around them like a bunch of groupie girls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is, like I said, nobody questioning that shit. That make the team look bad. And this is where we lie at with source money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes the team look bad with what him and source money were going through. Him and Jazzo were going through. Once you people outside and see how you do your own, they not going to respect them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If they see how you treat your own, you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to give a fuck about it.
Well, not actually, too, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just, like, that as well, too, wanted me, like, it makes me wonder, like, because you've seen how Jay over the last few years has been kind of rekindling a lot of his beefs and stuff, but it makes me wonder, like, is that why you think maybe he's more hesitant with you? Because the fact is, it's not about what you know or how bad or good of a look it is, but it's like your guys' bond is actually so deep that it's like, wherever the miscommunication happened, wherever the hairs got crossed, it's something that almost hurts him too much. Like, do you think that's a reason why maybe this hasn't been able to be settled prior to now? You know what I mean? Because it cuts a lot deeper.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it hurts them that much. Whatever separated us. But at the end of the day, it's all about forgiveness.
Yeah.
Don't blame, why blame the gang? The street shit is over. We're not the same people. So it's basically you're holding something else. You know what I'm saying? You're holding on to something else, some kind of hate, some kind of jealousy, some kind of what? I don't know what it can be that you can't put it past you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. He can rectify all the relationships, but this one, I don't know. Because maybe it's only one. I don't know. I can't answer that question for you.
But
what's crazy is nobody. Do you understand? Nobody never asked him a question about me though.
Yeah.
None of them though. Like really, none of them. Like I don't care who does the interview. Emery, Jay, Child, whoever doing it, they're not asking them nothing about me. They're asking about the start of the Rockefeller, the start of this, but it won't go beyond that. It won't be going beyond that. Like, what is it so hard about mentioning my name? They want you not to eat in all sorts of ways. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're not opening no doors. I don't know, for me. You know, I ain't saying I've been blackballed, but they ain't opening no doors, no areas where I can get in to that. And that's how I realized I'm not going into that business with them.
Yeah.
It just astonishes me that when you can see everything that's going on in that shit, why would you still be wanting to get in that little small door of that industry? I'm not saying they're all bad people, but look what's going on in it.
Well, and another thing. Sorry, what were you saying?
But nah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say another thing is too, right? Like, you know, you've always kind of been Jay's bigger brother, so as to where, like, you know, especially of recent, like, you know, he surrounded himself with a lot of people who may have been, you know, a big part of his come up, like even prior to rap, like, you know, having dudes like Emery in his circle and stuff. But do you think that maybe as well too, it's like, you know, he's got a lot of these people are willing to be yes men because they know that the success and, you know, like they know life is good if they're fucking with Jay and if, you know, they take this job title and stuff. As to where someone like you kind of played the big brother role. So it's hard for you to like just be like, oh, all right, like you're big brother now. You know, I'm just cut the bullshit. I'm gonna just do what you say. I don't agree with this, but I'm gonna just roll with it. Like, do you think that as well too kind of made it difficult in, you know, some of the early days, like you kind of getting involved with the music thing, like?
Like I said though, you gotta understand this. Like, I'm gonna create my own lane.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you get me a position. I'm saying, yo, you know what? And if this was early on in the rock, and you gave me a position of being like, yo, just make sure I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure you're all right. I mean, I don't see another position besides that. You know what I'm saying? Coming up from where we coming up, that's still my same role.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But don't get it fucked up. I'm going to open up other avenues and lanes for me. You know what I'm saying? And is that the threat? Is that what you're worried about? That I'm not going to need you? Because I'll tell you what, put them niggas back out on the street that's running around with them right now and see if they can last.
Yeah.
That's why they don't create nobody for themselves, man. And this is what they have to be into that shit that he's doing. They have to keep their mouth closed about certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't create their own lanes. So with that question being said, like, nah, I couldn't. I wouldn't never seen another position beyond really.
Yeah.
Just making sure he good. You know what I mean? Other than that, I would open up the doors for myself somewhere else. I probably would have bought all of the music equipment and been the one that do the sound. Like,
yeah.
I would have opened up my own permanent lane.
Yeah, man. Word up.
I've never been one to travel with them like that. Even during their shows, I show up on my own. on my own. I get there on my own. I never needed that, and I don't know if that was the jealousy around him. Like, yo, here go this guy, you know, I don't move like you. Just put my name at the door. I'll get there. I'll be there. I don't need to be in that circle. I don't need to. So I guess that's a threat to some people around him.
Yeah.
Also, you know.
And another.
But it's a pleasure.
Sorry. Continue.
I'm still trying to leave him talking out in Canada, right? I've been trying to get out there. And it's funny because Drake was just up here.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask you about that. Did you see the video of Drake doing his video on Marcy?
Yeah. I mean, I got there 10 minutes late, but that shit was so rude and disrespectful. There was a lot of talk about that, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of talk in the hood about that, bro. Like, we definitely feel that's really disrespectful, man.
Well, for him to come there, you think?
For him to come there and do and still, you know, just to come there and not touch into the community.
So he didn't tap in at all with anybody, any OGs?
Nah, man,
no.
That shit is disrespectful, man. That shit is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And somebody sooner or later, one of them something bad gonna happen. You can't. Come on, man. I know Drake is not no street guy, but he got some common sense.
And he has street guys around him, so he knows how to maneuver. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I said. I know he should have some common sense about it. But yeah, it was talking I heard about, man, because DJ Khaled did the same thing. Like, nah, we not feeling that, bro. You can't just come around here and you filming people's residence and they family stuff, and they you can't do that without even saying, yo, you know what I'm saying? Can I do this without permission? Like, I wouldn't come out there and y'all in any hood. I'm not traveling, period, like without knowing what's going on in my surroundings and who I'm running with. You know what I'm saying? So why would you do that here? And if he should, you know, if he was going to do that, why didn't you just walk through the community and see what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? See what's really going on. That is nothing there that this dude Jay ain't put. You know, see what that shit look like.
Yeah.
And you'll have a whole different perspective on people.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's crazy too. Cause I wasn't even expecting that kind of response. Like, I just assumed that Drake would have checked in where he needed to check in and shit would have been good.
Nah,
so
man,
I just thought like
I got there 10 minutes late. I'm telling you, like, I got to call ASAP. Like, yo, keep going. So
were people like willing to go press him? Like, be like, yo, what's up? Like,
what? That's Marcy. Nigga, they own him in, bro.
So he must have just got in there and got out like quick then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's the disrespectful part. You don't have to move like that, man. Like, just make a call. You know what I'm saying? It should be ironic if Jay don't come down there. How you coming?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, get the okay, man. Like, show some love. Like, you know what I mean? It's nothing. You should have paid the, like I said, Cali should have paid the people. You know what I mean? You filming Jay whole apartment. There's different people in there. You could have did that. That's disrespectful, yo.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, too, like, you know, he's famous for his God's Plan video where he went to Miami, tossed a bunch of money around.
Exactly, and blessed the neighborhood.
Yeah, and a lot of people in Toronto felt a way about that because they're like, well, yo, you got a lot of fucked up neighborhoods here. Why don't you come here and toss some money around? But, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, like, the city as a whole is not going to hold them to that. You know what I mean? Because maybe it was a marketing strategy, whatever it was. But if that's something you're doing when you go to places, like, you know, if you're, like, it's one thing in being Miami and, you know, like, he wasn't rolling around no Miami hoods or nothing. He was just, you know, gave some money to college kids, people in the grocery store and stuff. But if you're going to go to, like, somewhere like Marcy, a historical landmark in hip-hop, a center of the impoverished, you know what I mean? People who aren't well,
exactly,
you know,
man.
how do you not do nothing?
Yeah, and let me ask you, so what do you say when a person interview him and say, yo, so you shot the video of Marcy, how was it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what do you say to that? You didn't say, yo, yeah, I went in there, yo, that shit looked crazy, that shit looked horrible, that shit is run down, like, what's going on in Marcy? You ain't going there to give no kind of details. You just wanted to take a picture by a sign. Come on, man. Like, I mean, I respect you better than that, man. I mean, just have some respect when you come through here, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask, brothers. And things will go good. Have some. That's what I'm saying. That's how you. Man, like I said, I expect him to move a little bit better than that. You know, period. From who he is.
Yeah.
But because Khaled, nah, he went all in. You know what I mean? He can't never come back to Marcy. Never. Anyway, man, moving on. Marcy made, bro. That's the way, man. That's my life. I think that's going to be a hit. The series going to be a hit, man. When I get that rotating on that TV, on the networks or streaming, that's it, man. This is my story, man. This is my life.
No
like
doubt.
Like I said, this ain't to sabotage or hate them dudes or nothing like that. It's just my life. It's just my story, man.
No.
That's it, and it's a good, positive outcome. I think everybody can learn from this, man, especially dealing with these streets. I think everybody can learn something when you're dealing with, you know, folks, friends. When you think of friends in these games. So, you know, and just looking at things in a different perspective for your life. When you realize, you meant to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Divine intervention.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm meant to be here. Whether it's the Question J situation or the message, I'm meant to be here. I don't follow him. I ain't on. Like I said, man, I hope his career and what he got going on keep going because, like I said, one thing you said is correct, man. No matter what they do, you can't take that our story from them. Start somewhere.
No doubt, man. And you know, I commend you guys for not only, you know, coming out and speaking your truths, but having the strength to, you know, against, because in a game like this, you know, when people hold so much power, a lot of people are scared to even speak out about a lot of things because they're scared what might happen to their career or anything. And for someone who's going into, you know, multimedia to a degree by doing documentaries and stuff, you know, I commend you for, you know, speaking your truth and, you know, not backing down. You know what I mean? Like, and just going to do it and doing something positive, doing something legal. Something you said earlier that I really commend you for is, like, you know, spending time with the youth and stuff. Because, like, the shit we were talking about before where these guys ain't got no morals and shit no more, I think it's because there's a lack of OGs guiding these dudes. So, you know, just someone with a story like yourself who's been through the ups and downs, seen the highest of peaks, you know, seeing where people connected to you could see the highest of peaks, and, you know, seeing the lowest points, having to do time and stuff. Like, a person like you to, you know, be involved in the youth's lives and, you know, just give them advice and guide them. Like, I think that's so important.
Yeah, man, that's my high right there, man. I ain't gonna lie, if I could do anything, and when I'm looking at comments on my line, on my page, and they tell me I inspired them, like, that right there is a life-changing experience for me. For someone to tell me, actually, yo, you inspired me by some of the things that I'm doing now, I can't question, but I'm doing the right. I gotta be doing the right thing.
No doubt, man.
You know?
And, you know, the show is only an hour long, so, you know, I could sit here and talk to you all night, man. But if you'd be open to it, I'd love to have you on the show again, talk about some more stuff. You know, I ain't even hit half my bullet points of stuff that I'd like to talk to you about. So, you know, if you're into it, you know, we'd definitely get you on the show again. Would love to if you're open to it, my man. That's
what's up. And one more time, like I said, man, y'all, you can log on to DeHaven.com. That's DEHAVEN. Everything, the Patreon is on there, the YouTube is on there. If you got any people in Maryland, the end of March is the screening in Maryland. The information will be on there, man. And, yo, shout out to Canada, man. And, yo, much love, man. I respect y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I respect you for having me on your show, man. I appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. I appreciate your time, man, for real. Just being able to talk to people like you who are, you know, so essential to the building blocks of this thing that I love called hip-hop, you know, it means a lot to me, man. I really appreciate your time. And, you know, before you do head out, too, just let the people know, like, your Instagram and all that stuff as well, too.
Oh, okay, yeah. My Instagram is Marcy, the Marcy Made Series. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, the Marcy Made Series on Facebook. And that's it, man. Like I said, you can log on to my page, man, DeHaven.com. All the info and everything will be in there, man. And I look forward, man. Maybe I can get me a screening out in Canada, man. That shit would be awesome.
That'd be amazing, man. I know a lot of promoters out here, so if it's something you're interested in, man, you know, you could have Baines. I know he handles your communications and stuff. You could have him hit me up, and, you know, I could put you in contact with a few promoters out here. Would love to see that happen.
That's what's up, man. And once again, man, thanks a lot. Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, man.
And all right, man, thank you.
Salute. Have a blessed night, man.